Okay, boys and girls, moms and dads, we have another one just for you. Number 30 it is. Coming to you on this fine January 4th, 2019 from Chicago, Illinois.
Chi-town.
That's right. I don't think we've told you that before. And I'm Paul Power. This is Robert Nelson, and he's going to be reading from his book of Keys, The Love Letters from God. We are on number 30, and it's
Karma. I know I'm putting a plug in here, but I'm going to do it anyway. One thing about Chicago that I've known since I've lived here about 15 years now is that it is truly an artist's city. It's beautiful. It has a lot to offer. I think people get caught up on some of the news sometimes and the violence, but that happens everywhere. But this city tends to bring the artist out in people so they can share it. Part of that creative process again. And even the architecture here, the various periods of architecture are artistic statements, art forms in and of themselves. Okay. And of course the food here in Chicago is wonderful. I can attest to that. Karma. Right after reincarnation. Karma kills the spirit of the law in that it draws your perception away from love by replacing it with the need for justice and vengeance. Ooh. Karma, quite frankly, does not exist. That's going to make some metaphysicians very unhappy. The natural outworking of the law of cause and effect does not exist. Wow. Or does exist, I'm sorry. I did it again, didn't I? I goofed. I'm going to reread that. Sorry for the goof. Karma, quite frankly, does not exist. The natural outworking of the law of cause and effect does exist. So karma and cause and effect are not the same thing as much as they are touted as the same thing in various Eastern religion teachings and metaphysical New Age teachings as well. Karma, by its very nature, often entails judgment and is therefore delusional as it serves the separation. Often karma is equated as a form of retribution, but justice, retribution, both have their roots in the delusional need for security based upon the perception of fear. Here we go with that false god fear, and those letters F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real, that we're less than we are and that we're separate from our Creator. False evidence. Fear tells you that you are separate from me and that you are less than you truly are. If you listen to that misleading message, you will feel the need for the security that judgment and control of others can make you feel that you have. In reality, the only security you will ever have is in our shared identity, and I would put like a capital I on that identity, God. The only way to even the scales of injustice is to return love for those who have offered you injustice. Now this next one is boldface. The one before it was boldface. The next one is boldface and capitalized. Beyond what appears to be good and evil, justice and injustice, life and death, lives love eternally. So beyond all those options lives love. Karma and retributions are qualities you made. Together we will unmake them as you invite me to help you. Only that which can be threatened requires retribution. Retribution then becomes a threat in and of itself. Talk about a vicious cycle. Karma is a facet of metaphysics and metaphysics is a facet or tool of the ego. Ouch. Metaphysics is a valid method for learning those techniques which do not work. I often refer to myself as a metaphysician. Yeah. For they are rooted in complexity. When you are through toying with methods which do not work, you will give up the need for such, and you will have me. Miracles, on the other hand, are glimpses of wholeness. Your inherent birthright, capital B on that birthright, and they result in the restoration of your perception of the state of grace. So now you see the difference between miracles and metaphysics. Please do not confuse the two. When love enters the picture, karma vacates the premises. I require no retribution from you, my beloved, so please do not require it of yourself, your brother, and your sister. Nor may you require retribution from me. So if we do that, then we're using God or God's name in vain. It can't be done. As you lay aside your ego, you feel neither threatened nor threatening, and karma holds no grip over you or over your perception either. Nor use karma as an excuse for those perceptions and actions which are not worthy of either you or me. It is not, quote, your karma, unquote, to be less than you truly are. With love, there are no excuses, for none are needed. As I have said, karma is a threat based upon judgment. Without judgment, there is no threat. This next one's bold-faced capitalized letters. My final answer to karma is to apply the final judgment. Remember, he said there is no final judgment because there was never an initial judgment. If you are not certain what that means, then reread the letter entitled The Final Judgment and the letter on reincarnation. These three letters are the trilogy of non-judgment. So we're talking about the letter on judgment, or the final judgment, the letter on reincarnation, and this letter on karma. From me, the unjudged, to you, I'm sorry, I have to read that over again. From me, the unjudging, to you, the unjudged, God. And so many times, we tend to think when somebody's done something horrible, they're going to get theirs. The law of retribution, the law of karma, they're going to get theirs by God. You know what? We just use the name of God in vain when we do that. As though we're trying to use God to hurt somebody. Can't be done. Like it or not, can't be done. I often tell people, karma is not the law of the multiverse. Love is. Love's the law. Karma pales when compared to love. And when we wish somebody else to get their hurtful just deserts, let that person get what he or she deserves for doing this horrible thing or that horrible thing, then we're deciding that person doesn't have any right to be with God. That person can't possibly be God. And guess what? We're on the receiving end of that judgment too. So as we hold back others, we hold back ourselves. Don't be stupid. It's not always easy to do, but it's what's required. Okay, enough for karma.
Well, hang on a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna chime in on this one a little bit.
Please
do. This is a very loaded title, in so much that yes, it is very different, the Western understanding of karma versus the Eastern understanding. The Western kind of rewrote the idea of karma and made it into this, this all punishing kind of thing, as opposed to the Eastern idea that is that it's life lessons coming around that we need to learn, kind of thing that I've always liked. But in terms of forgiving everybody, let's take a moment with that. If someone isn't asking forgiveness, aren't those people like let's take Hitler for instance. I don't know that I've ever felt the need to forgive him, or not render any of my own mental judgment on him. And we as long as we're here, in this vessel, we still are very human and very having a very physical experience. I think that a certain amount of judgment on some people that are clearly and I know God doesn't like the word evil, but I'm going to use the word evil, in so much as their actions contain no light. And I think this world is full of those people. And personally, right now, in the space of mind I'm in, I haven't gotten to a place where I don't think it's, there's anything wrong with passing along, a certain amount of judgment onto those people. And forgive me for saying, but I think, I've noticed the same characteristic in you. So, what do you say about that?
Okay. There's a difference between judgment and discernment. Let's take example like Hitler. Mm-hmm. One of the most hellish examples of any personage we've had on Earth.
Oh, that we know.
That we know. And there have been plenty out through history. We can go way back before that.
Without getting political, I think we have a lot of present-day Hitlers.
Yeah, we do.
That are every bit as bad as he was. But that's,
But the issue isn't what they did, and is not who they were, in the sense of naming Hitler or Genghis Khan or whoever.
Yeah.
Okay. We can say what they did was unworthy. We can say what they did was harmful to a hell of a lot of people or animals and to nature, to the planet. Mm-hmm. Or harmful to us personally, perhaps. There's nothing wrong in recognizing that. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying don't recognize those things. And recognizing what those are, you're recognizing what you don't want to be, what you don't want for yourself. Mm-hmm. And you shouldn't want to be. But if it goes into the judgment, remember, anything we do to someone else, we've already done to ourselves. Any attempt to hold somebody else back, even though they've been holding themselves back, results in us holding ourselves back a little more too. Maybe even a lot more.
But with some people and some beings that are just, spitefully evil.
I understand that.
There is a time, I think that, to damn someone to hell is very apropos. It's right in line.
But then hell is lack of being God.
Well, to get rid of a really truly evil person, if you got to experience that, and for a moment or even a day, to make the universe a much better place. I mean, without getting into details, I know you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
And you've been in that very seat yourself.
Yeah, and I'm not coming from Bob, and I'm not coming from you. I'm coming from Keys.
Okay.
Okay. We have every right to view what a person does as unworthy and horrible.
Uh-huh.
There's nothing wrong with recognizing that. And a lot of those people, yeah, you're right, they don't want forgiveness.
Yep.
You're not forgiving them just for them, you're forgiving them for you. To free you.
Sure.
It's a gift given and the receiver can receive or reject it, but meanwhile you're free.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Now, there is a point, and I didn't want to get into this, but I guess I'm going to have to.
Well, I think it's necessary, dude, because you know, people gotta understand, because this is, you know, it's gonna get brought up at some point. Might as well get brought up while you're still here to talk about it.
Yeah. One of the things that I like about what we're doing is it's my words, and they're not getting a chance to be
That's right.
rewritten by the Roman Empire or
Yeah, well,
the American government or anybody else.
Hopefully that you know, the secret deep state's not going to re-edit this stuff at any point in time.
Well, it's already out there in the form that it is, and people recording it and learning from it, even in their minds and hearts.
Yeah.
That won't be re-edited.
Uh-huh.
There is all right, let me restate this before I even get started. I'm going back to the Hitler concept again. The Hitler example. Not an example anybody would ever want to be, or at least they should never want to be.
Mm-hmm.
That being sets up the hell that they're in. That being sets up the result that's going to come to them.
Mm-hmm. And that's a form of karma, right? You could call that a form of karma.
Cause and effect.
Mm-hmm.